ship is heading to Livorno, and most people head to Pisa or to Florence. But when I found out we could go to Lucca, which is where Saint Zita came from, my namesake, and it's part of Tuscany. It's all about wine, it's all about food. We could combine the two. We decided to go that route. And we found this great company, Tours by Locals, and they arranged this fantastic restaurant for us, which is one of the best restaurants, and they've told me is the second best wine store in all of Italy. There's about 50 or 60,000 bottles of wine, so it'll be really cool to see that. Our ship has arrived at the port of Livorno on the west coast of Tuscany, Italy, and I'm pretty excited since it's the perfect opportunity for me to visit Lucca, one of Italy's best preserved and picturesque cities. It's a city I've wanted to visit for a long time. Most famous are the remaining city walls that encircle all of Lucca, unusual for a growing city because rather than tear the walls down, Lucca just built around them. My guide for the few hours we have here is Wanda from Tours by Locals. She really is a local from Lucca, and so is definitely the right person to give me an authentic look and taste of the town. Just across town is Buca di San Antonio, here since 1782. It's one of Lucca's most loved and popular traditional places, and I'm lucky to be meeting chef and owner Giuliano Porcini, who has me follow him through the small upstairs dining room down to one of their kitchens to make some pasta.
Facciamo la pasta.
Special pasta to Lucca.
Of course.
So why is Monica making it and not you, chef?
Yeah, but the secret of the pasta, many people make pasta, but by hand, the ladies know found. Very easy to
Ladies
found.
know.
Yeah. They put flowers and eggs, fresh eggs.
And here comes the part.
Because the pasta we cook, in the cooking, the water, we cook the pasta, we put the statino, something.
I see. So we keep talking and she keeps working. Wow. It's interesting that the pasta gets rolled on a checkered tablecloth. The reason? You roll it until it's thin enough to see the checks through the dough. All the cutting is done by hand too. What a great little tease.
Now it's ready to go to the cook.
Now it's chef's turn to make this super fresh tagliatelle and make me a signature seasonal dish with porcini mushrooms, olive oil, garlic, and basil, sautéed, and then the fresh pasta is tossed in.
This is one Italian portion,
What would an Italian meal be without wine? And being in Tuscany, what would be better than Sangiovese? The restaurant sommelier 𝐿 sits down with me to talk about this dish and his chosen wine. So, my goodness, this looks so good.
Yeah.
We have some wine for me,
Yeah, this is a local wine we chose because it has all the characteristics of the local tradition. So it's a Sangiovese mainly.
Okay.
So it has a little bit of acidity to clean out the fat part of the meals.
Oh, it's nice.
It has a little fruity smell. This is young. This is 2014.
Oh, it tastes wonderful.
It's
wow.
still nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's
still
really
nice,
fresh
think.
and
It goes
easy.
well with our, you know.
So this, with the porcini mushroom, this would be a nice little...
Yeah, yeah. It's not a very strong wine. It's young, so you don't need an old wine with mushrooms, yeah.
An old wine with mushrooms,
Yeah,
yeah.
normally.
You probably serve this with a lot of different pastas.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So,
This dish and wine go so well together. I expected the mushrooms to be more earthy, you know, more of that earthy kind of flavor. They're actually more
delicate.
gentle and
Yeah,
delicate.
yeah.
I hate eating here like this, and you're not eating with me. Oh well. Ready to see Zita? While there are hundreds of churches here, this is one of the oldest, dating back to the 6th century. It was rebuilt a few times and completed in 1115. This church became one of the poshest in Lucca, where chapels were designed for wealthy families. Saint Zita worked for one of those families, the Fattinellis, as their domestic maid, and became one of Lucca's most famous saints after stories of her performing quite a few miracles, mostly about food and wine. Perfect.
And why I'm here?
Oh yes, you're here. Wow. This is one of the most famous Lucca-born saints, Zita, in fact.
That's very touching.
Yes. She was born in 1218 and she died on the 27th of April, 1278. So she lived 60 years, which for a woman and for the time was an incredibly long time. And what you're looking at now is her corpse, as it was found in her grave much after her death. You probably know that the Roman Catholic Church doesn't allow mummification, so this is what you call a natural mummy.
The most famous story is that while she was a maid for the wealthy Fattinelli family, they believed she was stealing bread to feed the poor by sneaking it in her apron. One day they followed her to catch her in the act, but when they stopped her and opened her apron, instead of bread, bunches of flowers fell out.
The connection of Zita with food.
Perfect.
Yes, Zita came to pray into this church and often she forgot to prepare the yeast to make bread. But when she went back home, she found that the angels had already prepared on the kitchen table.
So she did have angels around her, helping
Yes.
her all the time. Excellent. So I knew a little bit about the story, but as you know, they get slanted a little bit when you hear them third hand, fourth hand, and so on. But this has been a dream to come see this. This is unbelievable to me. I'm so glad.
Yes.
Made a dream come true. It's amazing. Her life is celebrated with a feast every April 27th. And while I don't know if I'll ever be in Lucca for that event, simply visiting her now means a lot. So now I get to go to the winery that makes the wine I had earlier. We drive into the hills of Lucca and this stunning Fattoria di Fabiano, where there's olive groves, woods, vineyards, everywhere. It's beautiful. Winemaker Marco takes us into the barrel room where the new wines are aging and resting. It seems he's going to let us taste some wine straight from one of these small oak barrels. I feel quite honored since he hasn't even tasted the wine yet.
Yes. So Zita, you are tasting this wine before the winemaker. And this is pure Sangiovese 2015. And Marco here maintains it's a very good year. Now,
It is. Well, I think so too already. And I'm proud to be tasting before you. It's really fresh and really fruity and really amazing for Sangiovese. Really, really nice.
Yes.
Love it. Wow. And so it will be in the barrel for how long then?
2 anni.
2 years. And it's been in only a few months. And it's already delicious. So we
Yes.
have a lot to look forward to. Have some.
Thank you.
And then you get to have some. It's fantastic.
To you.
Isn't that good? So we actually tasted it before you ever would before, right? Because you usually like to have the wine sit there for a full year before you taste it.
Yes.
So.
Normalmente sta qui 1 anno prima che si assaggi. For you, Zita.
Lucky us.
For
Lucky.
you, an exception. Yes.
I know we have to get back to the ship, but Wanda tells me about a wine shop right back in town that is one of Italy's best, with around 55,000 bottles. How can I not go there? Come on, one last short stop. We do go and meet Paolo at Enoteca Vanni. At first, there's just this tiny narrow shop with a few shelves lining the walls, but I follow him and Wanda down some steps and into an amazing and ongoing cave with all kinds of treasures.
Watch the steps and watch your head, Johnny. Step, step, step. Turn.
And now you have to watch your head.
Yes, please.
Oh,
That's Barolo.
wow, wow. Oh, great. Clumsy director.
Careful, otherwise I must pay the bill.
And wow, look at these over here. So, so what do you think the oldest bottle in here is?
So Paolo will tell us.
Yeah? Oh, they do tastings in here.
Oh
then.
yes, we do tasting, wine groups, and
Sure,
wine
sure.
clubs.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So how many bottles are actually in the shop?
And 55,000.
Whoa.
55,000
5,000 bottles of wine.
Well, paradise for wine
I
lovers.
have a
Excellent.
Shall we have a look at the oldest bottle?
So we're gonna look at the oldest. Is that the most expensive bottle?
yes. The Château Lafite 7,500.
So I have a question you can ask because he's storing it in there in an upright position, which isn't good for wine. So
Oh, dice
questo.
come mai la tieni in piedi?
C'è molta umidità e quindi il tappo non si secca.
Yeah,
Rimane
because
elastico.
look, it's very humid. We have a humidity. here.
which is perfect.
So this wine here, a reserve wine by Biondi Santi, 1955,
Miglior vino italiano del secolo.
acknowledged as the best Italian wine of the century.
oh my God. So a nice local Lucca. Yeah. Oh, I love that label. It's beautiful. Yay. I love having a bottle to take with me to remind me of this very special day in this very special town.